Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, welcome to Digital Roadshow for Asia Aviation Public Company Limited for the third quarters. Okay, let's start with operational highlight. In this quarter, we carry 4.7 million guests, down 3% from last year. International guests dropped by 15%, while domestic guests increased by 4%. It is aligning with our strategy to grow domestic capacity. The current domestic international split is 67% from 63% domestic last year. The loss factor for the quarters was 80% overall. Domestic remains strong at 82%, while international dropped to 76% due to the low season and fewer tourists. ASK stood at about 6,100 million, up 2% year on year, and the number of flights was up 7% to 31,700 sector this quarter. On-time performance, we remain our strong at 86%, slightly up from the previous quarter, reflecting our commitment to punctual flight. And in this September, we received an award from Syrium, ranking second in the Asia Pacific region. For the average fare for the quarters was 1,633 baht per guest, down 12% year on year. For the domestic down 8% and international down 9%. Ancillary revenue was 329 baht per guest, down 16%. This partly due to the higher domestic split, which led to fewer checked back compared to last year, and the temporary waiver of the booking processing fee on AirAsia Move. And our fleet stood at 62%, 62 aircraft this quarter. Okay. For the financial highlight, the revenue dropped by about 15% from around 1,000 million last year to around 8.3 thousand million this year. From 10,000 million last year to around 9.3 thousand million this year. EBITDA was 361 million baht, down significantly due to the weak top line. Meanwhile, costs were maintained at a satisfactory level, helped by lower jet fuel price. And the net loss for the quarter was 875 million baht, while core loss was 1,238 million baht, partly offset by the FX gains. The ticket revenue this quarter fell by 15%, mainly due to the lower average fare, reflecting the weak tourism market. In this quarter, Thailand welcomed 7.4 million tourists, down 13% from last year. Chinese tourists arrived dropped about 8%, while Malaysian tourists surpassed the Chinese in the number during the quarter. But Malaysian tourists may have primarily arrived by land, resulting in a limited positive impact on air travel. For the ancillary revenue fell about 17%, and FX gain also decreased compared to last year. Okay, looking at the average fare trend, domestic fare dropped 8% year on year, a decrease of roughly around 100 baht, reflecting the low season. Even at around 1,200 baht in the low season, we remain very satisfied. And for the international market, lower guest number affect load factor, limiting our ability to raise fare. International guests fell 15% year on year, while average fare overall dropped 12%, with domestic fare also adjusting slightly due to the low season. Okay. Okay, for the ancillary product, particularly baggage, the decrease is due to the portfolio split. As I mentioned earlier, international guests have declined, so checked bag number have also dropped. And fee reduction were partly due to the wave of processing charge on AirAsia Move. However, this is part of our strategy we want more guests to book through AirAsia Move, as it's the better channel for selling ancillary service for our company. So this is a deliberate strategy. We aim to attract more booking to AirAsia Move in this period. Okay, for the expense, the cost of sale and service fell 2%, mainly due to fuel costs, which decreased 12% year-on-year this quarter. But staff maintain and airport expense were well controlled with a slight reduction across the board. But other costs of sale and service, such as aircraft depreciation, increased because we add more aircraft this year compared to last year. And in terms of the SG&A rose 14% year-on-year. This is part of our current strategy to prepare for growth. We ran active promotion and campaign with OTAs. As you know, OTAs remain a very important distribution channel for the airline industry. This year, we ran campaign to boost sales during the low season, which makes SG&As appear slightly higher than usual. And additionally, since this was a low quarter, with declining top line mathematically, SG&A as a percentage of sales naturally looks higher. And we focus on full year's SG&A figure. On an analyzed basis, it may be higher than last year, but this is part of our strategy to run promotion and campaign with OTAs. Next year may not be as high. Okay, for the per ASK, our ASK fell 17% year-on-year due to lower top-line performance, fare, and load factor. And CASK fell 2%, mainly due to lower fuel costs, but CASK ex-fuel increased 4%, mainly driven by higher SG&A. Okay. In terms of profitability, EBITDA declined due to the weaker top line, standing at around 361 million baht this quarter. Finance costs and D&A increased this quarter, reflecting a new aircraft deliveries. And net loss for the quarter was 875 million baht, which while core loss was 1,238 million baht this quarter. Okay. For the financial and cash flow position, cash flow was positive this quarter, this period. CFO stood at around 8.3 million baht, while a positive cash flow of around about 3,000 million baht. And thanks to the debenture issuance and a debt repayment from related company. Okay, the last one, looking at the summary of 9 months 2025, the top line fell about 10% to around 34,000 million baht. This reflecting a weak in tourism demand and 2 consecutive low season quarters. And the profitability for 9 months 2025 shows a net loss of 785 million baht in terms of core profit. Thank you.
Okay, let's begin with the overview with the Thailand tourism. On the left side, year to date, we have welcomed approximately 27.5 million tourists, and we expect the full year to close at around 33 to 34 million arrival, which is about 7 to 8% lower than last year. So the main driver for the decline is the Chinese market. Last year, we saw about 6 million Chinese tourists, but this year we are just over 3 million and hoping to reach 5 million at the end of the year. The Chinese tourists impact both the falling in Chinese tourists impact both Chinese international market, and to some extent it's also affect our domestic market. So as you can see on the right, almost all ASEAN markets are showing a negative trend. But the market that show growth are primarily from the left side, the European, the US, and also South Asia, particularly India. Regarding our fleet, we we utilize 54 aircraft in the last quarter, and we expect to use around 59 to 60 aircraft in the final quarter. So we have strategically allocate our capacity to match the demand. As you can see on the right side, the domestic market remain our strongest performer, both passenger volume and yield, which accounting for around 66% of our capacity. International capacity is down to 34%. The Chinese market now only represent 5%. South Asia is 6%, and ASEAN still healthy at 17%. As my colleague mentioned earlier, our on-time performance is a key factor to strengthening our position, especially in the domestic market. So according to the official figure from Cirium, we are proud to present that we are the second most on-time airline in Asia Pacific, only second to Philippine Airlines in September. So for domestic market, we maintain our strong leadership position in the domestic market with 39% market share. Our key strategy is to utilizing both Dongmueang and Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok. For Dongmueang Airport, it is our main hub and base for the majority of our fleet. We are also increasing our capacity at Suvarnabhumi Airport because long-haul traffic from Europe and the US, also South Asia, primarily arrive there. So we have add new routes such as Buriram, Narathiwat, and Surat Thani in the last quarter. And in the fourth quarter, we will add two more direct routes to Nakhon Si Thammarat and Chiang Rai. And we also introduced a core regional route Chiang Mai to Udon in the last quarter. So in terms of performance on the right side, load factor is holding up well, dropping slightly from 84% to 82%, which is a good result for a low season. So our average fare is also maintained at around 12,000, not 12, sorry, 1,200 baht per passenger. We're also working on a fly to hub to initiative at airport like Surat Thani, Chiang Rai, and Udon Thani. But this involved to establish the CIQ, Custom Immigration and Quarantine Facility, which will allow international passenger to transfer directly to this secondary city without having to check out and recheck in at Dongmueang. And this also support the secondary city tourism and also boost our load factor. For international market, as I mentioned, we carefully managing capacity in the international market, particularly China. The concern in Chinese market is not just the drop in demand, but a major change in travel behavior. We are seeing that we are seeing a shift from a traditional large group of tourists, like a group tour, to change their behavior to FIT. This is a crucial change because our existing China slot were mostly a night flight or late night flight, which suit for a group tour. So we are currently reallocating our capacity and requesting a new flight schedule that better suit with the FIT traveler. This is why you may have heard about the news of us to temporarily suspend some routes in China. So in contrast, Indian travel behavior remain unchanged. We have leveraging our existing capacity, destination and schedule in India and neighboring South Asia country where we can fully increase capacity. ASEAN, we are maintaining capacity. Destination like Laos continue to perform well. Cambodia air travel remain normal despite the conflict between border. Vietnam is stable thanks to the flight to passenger traffic from another country. East Asia, we face a similar challenge to China, particularly Hong Kong and Macau. So in order to maintain international performance, we achieve a good load factor and fare in third quarter by adjusting capacity with the demand seen in each region. So at, during third quarter, we end the load factor at 77% and average fare at around 2,400 baht. So in the final quarter, we will launch our first freedom route in Indochina, particularly Bangkok to Luang Prabang and then Luang Prabang to Hanoi, which we have seen a high passenger traffic in this sector. Last slide on the business update. Our fleet. We currently have 62 aircraft, starting the year with 60 and adding 2 new this year. We have planned to take the delivery of additional aircraft in the final quarter, but due to the current demand that I mentioned earlier, the market condition in Thailand. So we have delayed this plan until next year. So we will provide an update capacity and strategy plan for next year once the budget is finalized. Okay, over to you, ครับพี่ต้อง
Okay, good afternoon, investors. Chirapop from Investor Relations, and I would like to endorse about outlook and the targets. So this page, we would like to talk about the drivers for the fourth quarter. Mainly, we are about to actually we have entered into the high season of the fourth quarter. So if you can recall, normally fourth quarter would have us deliver the best performance in terms of quarterly results in the year, and we expect this quarter to be the same. Another driver to drive that high seasonality onward is on the government stimuli. As we have been hearing several packages that the government has been trying to push out, we also are waiting for the one of those would be the half tour and buy international get free domestic, which are pending the the cabinet approval very soon. So we are talking about another 200,000 tickets to be launched in this program. Another key initiative from the government is on the tax rebates when we travel domestic in this last 3 months of the year. So as you may have heard about this number from the news, so there will be 20,000 baht of tax rebates if we travel the first tier city, and 1.5 times of that amount if we travel the second tier cities. So that's the tailwind. I think we are also talking about when we talk about next year, we hope that next year we'll see more stabilization, meaning that when we talk about the China market, the rate of decline has been quite steady from the beginning of the year. So year-on-year drop has been around 35 to 40% on a monthly basis. We have seen that number quite steadily and not deeper. So I think if we were to stand in next year and compare in terms of year-on-year growth, we would see more of the stabilization from next year onwards. So I'll talk about other markets on next page, but in terms of the headwinds, we continue to see quite similar kind of drags from global economic situation, especially in domestic market as well, where we are not seeing improvements in terms of the spending per head. So that continues to be a drag. Another one is on the geopolitical tensions. Things have been quiet recently, except the conflict between us and our neighbor. With that particular situation, actually, fortunately, we are actually seeing some windfall from the border closure. So the load factor for that particular routes have been quite high, and we are able to control the yield quite well, at least in this short-term period. Other than those, we are also pending on more kind of clarification around the airport fee that have been around for some while. We are not sure if the finalization will be delayed onward, but as part of the airline association, we also raised our concern that the increase in whatever fares during this period in time might not be a good time if we were to promote the tourism, especially in inviting foreigners to come to Thailand. Yeah, so that's the overview. Talking particularly about the fourth quarter number, we have updated. This is the numbers from the very beginning of November. For October, in terms of load factor, we already closed the book. So domestically, we were at 85% load factor. International, we were at 82%. I like to highlight the international number. 82% is the actually highest number since January. So this is above 80%. And very highly likely that November will see a stronger number, maybe hitting 85, hopefully. And then December, I just checked earlier, we also reaching overall both domestic and international above 40% already. So if the pace continues to be like this, very likely that we'll hit our target for the fourth quarter. So overall fourth quarter itself, as the headline says, we expect that this fourth quarter will see year-on-year top line growth. So the first three quarters we saw a decline, but this fourth quarter we hope to see some growth in terms of top line. While the EBITDA margin, we also expect the number to be very similar to the first quarter. So we're talking about 20% plus in terms of EBITDA margin. Driver would be the first little box there, capacity. So compare year on year, the capacity will grow around low teens percent. I think we're talking about 10 to 12%. But as you can see, the majority of the growth will continue to be in domestic market, while international will continue to see a drop of around 5%. For fare, to be aligned with the capacity addition, we have to control the fare level as well. So we expect the fare to be similar to the first quarter level as well, which is around 1,900 baht or slightly above that. Fleet, I think we touched upon that. And in terms of profitability, we do expect for fourth quarter to deliver profits. But for the full year, I think we will try our best to at least make it break even for the full year numbers. So I think to endorse further, China, I already informed you that basically next year we hope to see stabilization in terms of flights. We have decreased the number of flights throughout the year, just make it in line with the arrivals. So the stance is to at least have the load factor for China flights to be above 80%. I think that's where we are happy when we talk about to what level we should decrease our flights. But more than that, next year we are trying to secure more of the daytime slots, as my colleague mentioned. Customer behavior, tourist behavior have changed. So to cater to the new kind of passenger generation or influx of passenger, we would like to have more daytime slots rather than currently nighttime slots. So for India market as well, that's where the growth has been, and we continue to see very strong load factor. But I like to endorse that competition has been quite high as well, and that's something that we are careful about when talking about expanding capacity. So basically, what we need to ensure is that our products are serving well and suiting well with the customer behaviors, because on the India-Thailand flights, actually more than 90% of the passengers are Indian. Very few Thai people travel this route. So we need to ensure that our products are fit with their behavior and preference. That's something we are fixing. I think we need to talk about Vietnam as well. Vietnam has been, if we talk about Vietnamese people coming into Thailand, it's actually declining this year, I think 20+%. But our Vietnam-Thailand flights continue to perform quite okay because actually more than 50% of the passengers on these flights are international passengers, including Thai passengers. So that continues to be supporting the load factor and fare for the Vietnam routes. I think that's for the short-term outlook. For next year, I think we'll come back next quarter and inform the investors again how we target to grow next year. Lastly, on sustainability. So we focus a lot on ensuring that we embrace sustainability. So for this quarter highlights, we have won several awards. The first one on the very left, so we won the Low Cost Airline Sustainability Award in terms of several initiatives. For example, the APU of projects. That's a project regarding electricity saving. And then on the second column, this is a climate action leader award where the focus has been around the green operating procedure. We continue to attend several sustainability campaigns and forums. For example, the Sustainability Expo, which is a national sustainability forum held in October. And maybe last one on the very right-hand side, this is an initiative starting from the group level that we are now using recycled fibers to make clothes for the cabin crew. For Thailand, we will also start this initiative actually starting this month. So let's see how it goes. So first of all, cost saving, and number two is sustainability. Yeah. Before we move to Q&A, maybe there are other two things that I would like to endorse here. Number one is on, if you look on our balance sheet, this quarter, the balance sheet is actually stronger because right now cash level has been hitting around 5 billion Thai baht. Net gearing, if we net the cash, we are standing at 0.6 times. So the main reason is because if you look at the receivables and payables among the related parties, this net value has been declined because during the past quarters and especially in the third quarter, the group has actually repaid a certain amount of money or balance that was on the book. As a consequence to the development, if you follow the news, the development around the restructuring at the group level, which is now at the very last or final step before they come out of the PN17 conditions. So going forward, I think we are coming back to our policy and on the aging monitoring as agreed. So this is the improvement on the balance sheet and cash level. The last one is on the news around tender offer. We have informed the SET, I think end of last month, that we haven't received any information around the tender offer. For certain, it's going to be AirAsia X, from the restructuring at the group level. But to Thailand, we haven't received any information. But what we can say for quite certain is that whatever is going to happen will not affect Thailand's operation. Thai AirAsia will continue to be a Thai airline, which has Thai nationality major control, and we continue to hold the rights to fly as usual. So if there's any new information, I would like to ask investors to follow the stock exchange channel for any further information. Thank you.